Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, on this episode of The Bullet Point, we are going to dive into something that we have all been waiting for. I know you've been waiting for it. You've said it to me in the comments. I've heard it in the live streams. When is accountability actually going to be upheld? And this is a tiny little case of that just happening in Florida under DeSantis, who is based as possibly can be. Now, there is a state attorney, basically, a state prosecutor rather. He just got suspended. The interesting thing is, he's extremely anti-2A. I've got all the quotes. I've got why he got suspended. And more importantly, is this the beginning of accountability that's happening across the nation? Is DeSantis going to lead this into other states, or is this a one-off? Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and we are going to hit this. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think on this one. Let's get it. By the way, everything linked per usual. DeSantis suspends Tampa prosecutor who took stance against criminalizing abortion providers. Now, this came out on Thursday evening at 10:42 p.m. All right. Well, that's not all that he is. Check this out. This guy's name is Andrew Warren. This is the guy on screen right here. This is a little quote that says it's a political stunt, it's overreach, blah, blah, blah. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Well, this is what he said against the 2A. Then I'll show you what he actually did that got him suspended by Mr. Ron DeSantis himself. So on Florida's Stand Your Ground law, this is something that Giffords.org is hitting really hard. Every Moms Demand Action, every time for gun safety, they're all hitting the Florida Stand Your Ground law because it's terrible and it enables criminals. A shoot first, ask questions later law. That's what they say. Here's what he said. Quote, "As we said then, this law protects violent criminals and wastes resources by taking officers off the street and making us try cases twice, and has nothing to do with responsible gun ownership, and it slowed down the system, delaying justice for victims and their families." Keep in mind, stand your ground laws means you can defend yourself with equal force. That's all it means. It means you don't have a duty to retreat, which is a lot of other blue cities. But that's not all he said. He's got three other things. Check this out. Constitutional carry. Quote, "Don't let them fool you. This is permitless carry." Giffords.org, Moms Demand Action talking point. "Zero limits on who can carry concealed and has nothing to do with the Constitution." It's called constitutional carry, so they're trying to rebrand it. "This makes our neighborhoods less safe and law enforcement doesn't want it. You can't claim to support cops while supporting this. No sane person thinks the Second Amendment protects owning a nuclear weapon." Reasonable regulations on right to bear arms. The only issue is whether it's reasonable to require permits to conceal, and it definitely is. So he's against constitutional carry in a big way. MSRs, modern sporting rifles, or the assault weapons, as they call them. Quote, "Another mass shooting using a military-style rifle." Military-style rifle, that's a talking point from the left. "That has no place in our society. Another opportunity for us to do something. Just do something. Another inevitable disappointment by our elected leaders, and another difficult conversation with my children about their safety. And the last one, Florida's preemption." Quote, "Who in Tallahassee is more hypocritical? Extreme pro-lifers who oppose common-sense gun laws to save lives, or so-called conservatives who profess local control but routinely bind cities and counties from solving local problems?" Now, preemption is the one thing that says state laws trump city laws. You can't have a gun ban in Tampa, but then have a law that says there are no gun bans in Florida. The one in Florida statewide trumps everything. So you can't have gun control in small cities. This is what they've been doing across the entire planet, or not planet, the whole nation. They're trying to get rid of preemption. They did it in Colorado last year. But now let's look what he actually did and got in trouble, because this guy didn't do his job. Legitimately didn't enforce crimes, signed on to letters like the brilliant genius that he is, saying he wouldn't do it, and then he's surprised when he actually got caught by an executive, the governor, who will actually uphold the Constitution of the state and hold you accountable for not doing your job, which affects the people. Check this out. CNN. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Thursday suspended Tampa's elected prosecutor, Andrew Warren, for pledging not to use his office to go after people who seek and provide abortions or on doctors that provide gender-affirming care to transgender people. Okay, so that's a whitewash. Here's what he actually did, because this is the important. We get to the meat. Always look into the details. DeSantis said the decision to suspend Warren came after he directed staff to review whether any state attorneys in Florida had taken it, quote, "upon themselves to determine which laws they will and will not enforce." After watching prosecutors in other states decline to press charges for certain crimes, that review led them to Warren, who has become a vocal advocate for criminal justice reform. Okay, DeSantis sees what's going on in the rest of the nation, says they're not prosecuting people for obvious crimes, which is something that we all realize and recognize. What's going on in Florida? Let's see if this is happening in Florida, and he found one, and this one has now been suspended. They're doing the same thing. Check out what he actually did, which gave DeSantis cause to do this. That's not what I want. Later that summer, Warren announced he wouldn't prosecute 67 people arrested in a protest following the death of George Floyd. Okay, you know what that one was. Okay, so he wouldn't prosecute 67 people. In his executive order, DeSantis accused Warren of neglect of duty and incompetence as the state attorney of Hillsborough County. Quote, to take a position that you have veto powers over the laws of the state is untenable, DeSantis said at the press conference in Tampa surrounded by law enforcement. So this state attorney was doing the same thing, a state prosecutor was doing the same things that all these woke prosecutors are doing. I'm not going to enforce laws because they're unjust. So therefore, it's my decision what I'm going to enforce and what I'm not. You are obligated by the state and your oath of office to fulfill the laws that are passed by the people, not by you. But this is where he got in trouble. This is the actual where he was so brilliant that he's put his name on a piece of paper which said he wouldn't do it. And DeSantis has all the reason he wants. Check this out. After the U.S. Supreme Court voted to overturn Roe v. Wade and eliminate constitutional protections for abortion, Warren signed another letter from Fair and Justice, which is a progressive group, promising to use discretion not to use, quote, limited criminal legal system resources to prosecute those who seek, provide, or support abortions. He put his name on a piece of paper and he promised himself to say that I won't fulfill the laws of the state of Florida because they were just passed. DeSantis has everything he needs. This is a perfect example of you go woke, you get fired. It's not even go woke, go broke anymore. Now you liberal DAs and you progressive DAs who are not fulfilling the oaths to the people to fulfill the state of Florida or whatever state you're in, New York comes to mind, California comes to mind, Illinois comes to mind. If you're not going to fulfill the job and enforce the laws on the books passed by the state legislature, you're going to get removed from office. This plan of let the criminal element just undermine and go whatever they want, do however they want, it's going to be stopped by people who will actually stand up and do their constitutional duty. And that is what Ron DeSantis just did. And in so doing, he got rid of a pretty prevalent anti-2A person in a position of power in the state of Florida. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.